just been connected to the largest spiritual network on the planet, The Jeffrey Daugherty Show.
Jeffrey Daugherty.
Sink or swim, deep end information, parabiblical research, spiritual technologies, personal empowerment. Be your own guru. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. And now, showing you how, here's Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hello, folks. This is Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, with you again for another week of programming. We hope that you're tuned in and ready for another great week. We're going to kick things off with a tiny little look back, and there's a reason for these things. We want you to know where we've been. We want you to know where we are. We want you to know where we're going. And really, in the short time that we've been doing this, we've accomplished some remarkable things. I mean, less than a year into this work, we were able to be featured on Coast to Coast AM with George Noory. And I don't know how many of you remember this, but amazingly enough, also within a year, we were able to have George Noory on this very program, interviewed by yours truly. And I want to present that interview to you today. It's a short one. It's only about 15 minutes. But it's an amazing interview. It's the most unique interview I've ever heard George Noory give. He is, in this interview, remarkably transparent. He's remarkably open. And he talks about things in a depth and in an intimacy that I, frankly, have never heard before. And those of you that are fans of George Noory, I think you'll be thrilled with this. I think you'll be surprised with this, and I think that it'll give you a greater insight into the man. And those of you that are not so much fans of George Noory, I think this will also give you a tremendous amount of insight into who George Noory is. Some insights into why he does things the way he does them, why he runs coast to coast the way that he does, the reason why he runs the show the way that he does. And it'll give you a look into the man, the way he thinks, to a great extent, the way he feels, to the depths of his intellect and his emotions. And to me, it was really a stunning, almost staggering interview, because it opens up George Noory. I've never heard him open up like this before or since, and I think it was a fantastically intimate interview. The sound quality, not fantastic. It was early in our work. We weren't exactly the best on sound quality, but it's certainly very. It's not that you can't hear it. It's just a little bit. Well, you'll know what I mean when you listen to it. But as you're listening to it, learn about George Noory, understand George Noory, appreciate George Noory, and learn and understand and appreciate how far we've come with this work in such a short time, and imagine where we are going in the future. It's really, to me, amazing. It's really, to me, exciting. And we're going to go now to my interview with George Noory on the Jeffrey Daugherty Show, just about, interestingly enough, a year ago to the day today. And I want you to listen to this. I want you to think about this. I want you to enjoy this and learn more about this guy that we all know and respect, and understand how successful we've been so far, and get excited about where we're going. So without any further ado, we're going to go straight into my interview with broadcast legend George Noory of Coast to Coast AM.
Interesting. Tonight we're very excited to have with us a man that really requires no introduction. He's heard 5 days a week by over 3 million people on 500 affiliate stations as host of the Coast to Coast radio broadcast. He also hosts his own show on IM. It is beyond belief for that program. Many people do not know that he is a former naval officer and the author of 3 books, Talking to the Dead, Worker in the Light, and George Noory's Late Night Snacks. It's our privilege tonight to have with us from west of the Rockies, a first-time caller, hopefully long-time listener, the legendary George Noory.
Hey,
Mr.
Jeff,
Noory,
how are you?
Mr. Noory, it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Great to be with you. Am I coming in loud and clear?
Loud and clear, wall-to-wall and treetop tall, as we say here in the South, Mr. Noory.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Let me say this to you. Let me get this out of the way, sir. You are the standard that we all are held to and we all look up to in the industry, and the listeners are better for. I thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. You know, I started in this business, broadcasting, a long, long time ago when I was 19 years old, and it's really the only thing I know. You know, ask me to change a light bulb. I'm not sure which way to screw it in or out, but broadcasting is something I've done all my life, and it's my passion.
Well, George, you certainly have set the standard for it. We do appreciate that very much. Now, you're going to be the special guest speaker at the White Light Express Conference in Port Townsend, Washington, August 16th to 18th.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be there Saturday and partially Sunday, right after my show Friday night, Jeff. I'll be popping on a plane in the morning, and off I go. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, the White Light Express is a network of healing professionals and metaphysicians and people dedicated really to illuminating the planet with the power of energy, consciousness, and healing. And so I'm looking forward to this. Most of the engagements I go to around the country are either alternative medicine health events or UFOs and other strange phenomena. This one's different for me. This one cuts right to the heart of who we are as individuals. And so I'm looking forward to this. It's Sarah Nash has put on a great event, and we're rounding up as many fans and listeners as we can to come to this event. And if anybody, by the way, wants information on it, it's at whitelightexpress.com. But it's coming up in about less than 2 weeks now.
Absolutely. Just a little correction, Mr. Noory. It's whitelightexpress.org, not .com. So go to whitelightexpress.org. And obviously, since you wrote the book, Light Worker, or Worker in the Light, this is something that is near and dear to your heart.
Oh, it sure is. I mean, you know, I have studied this field all my life, and, you know, it's something that I just love. By the way, now I don't want to really correct you, but if you also do whitelightexpress.com, it works.
Excellent.
It gets you to that website, and that's the only one I've ever known of. So she's probably got both of them all locked up, so it works both ways.
Right. She sent me a beautiful promotional poster that does have the .org on it, but .com and .org both work. Now, Mr. Noory, you mentioned that you speak at a lot of conferences, and I know that you're very well received and that many people receive life-changing experiences. In fact, my good buddy, Scotty Roberts, you spoke at his initial Paradigm Symposium, and he raved about your appearance there. It was a great symposium, wasn't it?
It sure was. You know, I am just thrilled to death, Jeff, with the people around this country who are dedicated to getting the word out and the message out about everything that has to do with the unusual, mystery, spirituality. You know, I really think we're going through an incredible metamorphosis right now, and things are changing. And, you know, we need as people to be able to adapt. And, you know, through consciousness and prayer, it's changing. People are changing. And I think we need to do that more than ever.
Absolutely. It sounds like you're encouraged by that, Mr. Noory. And I know you've talked about running for office at times. I know you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on spiritually and transformationally in the earth. Do you find yourself pessimistic, or do you find yourself somewhere between the two when you think about where we are headed as a nation and as a people worldwide?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic about the future because I think in the long run, good people, solid people are going to be able to pull through this mess and get us to where we're going, except it's going to be a very bumpy road along the way. It's not going to be easy by any means, and I've always told people it's going to be like a roller coaster. Get yourself strapped in and don't fall out because you could. We might hit the wrong bumps in the road. But long term, Jeff, I think we're going to be okay. I mean, it's not going to happen without work and without struggle. But I think good will win out over evil, and I'm hopeful about that.
Absolutely. So just keep our hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times, correct?
You got that right.
Now, Mr. Noory, you go to a lot of conferences, speak at a lot of these conferences, and let's be frank, we're in times that are challenging economically, and to go to a conference, be it the Paradigm Symposium, be it White Light Express, it does take a commitment of time, it takes a commitment of taking off work. It also takes a financial commitment to, go and attend these events because obviously they're not free. They're very important and they're well done, so they do take some money. What do you see, sir, consistently at these conferences, and what do you see in the lives of people? What do you hear that makes you continue to say to folks, despite the tough economic times, go to these conferences, take advantage of them?
Well, first of all, Jeff, if somebody is having a severe economic moment, they need to balance where they can go and what they can do. I don't think anybody should go in over their heads to go to this event or to do just about anything. But to be that as it may, the planet right now has people who are doing okay, and it's got people who are not doing okay. And assuming that people are doing okay and getting by, and that this is an important thing in their own life, of their own development, I consider this to be an investment. And an investment, of course, is something where you take a little bit of your funds, and you go to these events that you enjoy, and pick and choose the right ones. Look at who all the speakers are, and look at what you're going to get out of it when you're done. The worst thing that you could do is go to an event and not participate in it and just spin your wheels. You don't want to do that. When you go to an event like the White Light Express conference, you want to learn. You want to learn about energy and how people are healing through different processes and just what it takes to get yourself through a day-to-day operation. Look, we're all human beings. I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm stressed. I've got my show. I've got 3 children. I've got 6 grandchildren. My sister is going through stage 4 brain cancer. She's had her 2nd surgery, had it this morning. She lives in the Detroit area. I mean, we're human beings. We have ups and we have downs. It's conferences like the White Light Express that allow you to pull out of that, to toughen up a little bit, and to really know that we're not alone in the universe, that we can tap into this incredible force there and better ourselves. So these events, I think, are so important to our own personal development.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And you mentioned some things there that, listening to Coast just about every night, I've always wondered, hear so many things on the program that are, some of them are frightening, most of them are obviously outside of the norm, some of them can, be troubling to folks, and that's just the things that get on the air. I've often wondered, with what comes to you, all stories, all of the information, all of the wild and weird and wonderful, and again, sometimes frightening, how does that affect George Noory when he wakes up in the morning with all this information that's coming to you, arguably more than perhaps anyone else on the planet? How does it affect your worldview? How does it affect how you go through your day, Mr. Noory?
Well, when I started doing Coast to Coast 10 years ago, Jeff, there were things that I have learned just doing the program. I wasn't a huge believer in the Illuminati and the push for a one world government. I was always into alternative medicine, but I didn't know that Big Pharma truly didn't want us to be able to tap into that. So as this program evolved, I evolved with it, and I started learning things that I didn't know before. I'm at a point now where I'm not going to say I'm immune to these things that happen, but you know, I do listen and I do take these things seriously now, whatever the topic might be. And you know, when I'm working, I'm working. So I'm on the air Monday through Friday. I'm on the air the first Sunday of every month. I'm putting in 120% of my life and my time when I'm working, and on those few times that I've got days off when I'm not speaking around the country or doing our Beyond Belief television program, I try to rest and chill and, you know, do some fun things with the people I care about. But it is a responsibility, and it is a burden, and it is a lot of work. It's not easy, you know, when you're on the air for 4 hours, but in many cases the prep time throughout the day is 6 to 8. I get 1,800 emails a day now. And with all those emails, you know, you got to look. They could be stories. They could be people who want to be on the prayer list. There's all kinds of possibilities. So it's a responsibility you have to take. You can't let it affect you. I know when I'm out in the public's eye, people will come up to me and all they want to do is talk about the program and stuff. And you got to be fine with them. You got to be kind with them. And even though it may be a time where you're off work, you still have to take the moment and help them out too.
Right, absolutely. And you know, I want a personal thanks to you. I came from a position where I was 20 years as a Pentecostal evangelist, very conservative type of an atmosphere, and you know, everything's very just so in that type of belief. And as I've grown and listened to programs like yours, and you know, talked with folks like Scotty Roberts, come to we all look at, you know, some talk about angels and demons, some talk about, you know, interdimensional beings, some talk about aliens, some talk about God, some talk about ascended masters. But when you really get down to it and you try to strip away all of the liturgy and all of the religiosity around things, you become, at least I like your opinion on this, I become impressed by the fact that most of us as people, we're really talking about the same things, just have in many times different names for them, and it really seems like there is a great groundwork there of agreement from people across the spectrum who want to come into the white light, who want to make a better planet, who want to make better people. Do you think I'm on track with that at all?
Yes, you're right on. Most people, I think, are good people. Most people want to better themselves. Most people want to answer those and get the answers to those questions of who are we, why are we here, and I think that's what drives so many other people. On the other hand, we have a percent that don't, care about others. They don't care about life, and they're manipulative. They're opportunists. They want to get ahead without bringing people along. They want to step on people to get to where they are. Those are the people that I try not to give the time of day to.
Right. Your time is so precious. You really have to, especially, I think in your case, you have to pick and choose, who you can give that time to, and, the subjects you can give that time to. And I know that you were, still a very Zachariah Sitchin, and a lot of his teachings and beliefs. What a great man he was. It was certainly a great loss. Do you think we're coming to a place in society and in the world where we're going to see a Sitchin-like a revelation going along with UFO disclosure? Are we coming to a great place where we're going to have all of a sudden a lot of answers come to us, and maybe not from the places that we quite expected them to come from?
Well, they're not going to come as easy as we would like, that's for sure. I don't think, and I am at odds with some people that think government will disclose the UFO issue. I don't think governments will. I think
really?
They're concerned about control, manipulation, us asking for higher technology, maybe free energy. They don't want us to know that. So governments aren't going to disclose. What will happen is what has been happening, and that's dedicated people who have information from within will start leaking it out or talking about it. That's been going on, Jeff, for a long time. I think it's going to continue.
And it's really, I think, in the end, a good thing. And it's sometimes like the old adage, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. As you said, we're going to get answers, and we may not get the answers from the places that we expect them to come from. I think answers are going to come, and I think that you've hit it on the head to be optimistic cautiously and to keep your head up and keep moving forward. And as a man that's talked about going into politics, how do you view the political system at this point? Is there still time for us in America to reform our political system, or is it time for us to pull back and find another way to make this thing work?
Well, we're going to need to reform our political system. I mean, the direction that things have been going over the last many years, it's not one particular party. It's not one particular person who's up in the elected official. I mean, all of them are abusing the privilege of telling Americans the truth about whatever it is. We can handle the truth. Just be very above board with us and do it. The latest NSA situation. Come forward to us. Explain what's going on. Tell them, look, this is one of the only ways we can catch these terrorists, by monitoring things like internet sites and stuff like that. We don't care about you as an American and what you say and how you do it. But if there's a terrorist involved, we need to know about that. And that means we need to also monitor you. And I think if they would have been above board and explained it, more people would have been apt to say, okay, I don't like it, but I understand it, rather than this shroud of secrecy, and we have to find out from some whistleblower. I think these things have to change. Americans need the truth. They have to be stopped being lied to. We need to be honest about wars. I think we as a nation should go into countries only if the leadership there is annihilating their own people, and you need to protect them. But by and large, we shouldn't be occupying all these other countries. My gosh, look how long we've been in Afghanistan. Look how long we've been in Iraq. It's too much.
Absolutely. Mr. Noory, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you have to go and get ready for your show.
Yes.
So with your background as a naval officer, you certainly have the qualifications. You know a lot. Can we look forward to entrance by George Noory into the political arena potentially?
Well, Jeff, I just signed a long-term contract with our network, which will take me well into the foreseeable future. And that means I'll probably miss the 2016 election. So I'll probably be on the sidelines that period. And you know what? I'll be a watchdog like you will and make sure that the American people get their say. And that's what I'll be doing.
Mr. Noory, that's great news. We're glad to have you right where you are. Looking forward to continuing to hear you 5 nights a week. Looking forward to all the new things that you're going to be doing. Thank you so much for being with us, and we do appreciate you. And again, sir, you are the standard that we're all looking up to. Keep raising the standard high. Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. George Noory.
You be well. Bye-bye.
He's known as the Christian Whistleblower. Once again, here's Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, folks, Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, back with you. I hope you enjoyed that interview. I hope you listened to every second of it. And I think as I promised you, and as I said, you've got to really be appreciative of the depth and the intimacy that George Noory shared with us on that interview. I think you know a lot more about the man. I think you understand a lot more about the man. And that's always a good thing, because really, regardless of how you feel about him, he is the de facto leader, really, of the paranormal, the alternative news genre, just simply by the fact that he is the host of the largest by many, many times program of record within our genre. So it's always good to be able to know and to understand the guy that's really the leader of the band. I think the people that were not big fans of George may think a little bit different after hearing this interview. And of course, those of us that are fans of his have a fuller and more deeper understanding of the man. And again, in the short time that we've been doing this, we've had some amazing success. We've made some amazing progress. And just think about where we're going. We need your help. We want your help. Ask yourself what you can do. And as Cliff tells you on the way out, feel free to contact me. And until tomorrow, this is Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, wishing you peace and light.
Stay connected with the largest spiritual network on the planet at www.imnck.com. On Facebook, Jeffrey Daugherty and Jeffrey Daugherty Show. And on Twitter at NC Kabbalah. Visit imnck.com today and learn how to create yourself and live the life you'll love.